we can go ahead and get started, everybody, please. Thank you very much. Can you hear me in the back of the room?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay? All right, welcome to Fulton Circuit Court to the ceremony, swearing everybody in here today. My name is Chris Lee. I'm the judge of Fulton Circuit Court, and I'm honored to be a part of this swearing-in ceremony. I just want to take a quick word to say that how grateful I am to live in this country and this community where we can have these sorts of ceremonies, and I congratulate all of the candidates, not only the ones that are here, but also your opponents, the people that agreed to participate in the process. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and start. Brian Goodman. Mr. Goodman, I will have you come up and please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Brian Goodman.
I, Brian Goodman.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
And the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
And that I will faithfully.
And I will faithfully.
Impartially. And diligently discharge.
The
duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
Of the City Common Council Member at Large.
Of the City Common Council Member at Large.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chase Thompson. Thompson, can you come in and please raise your right hand? I, Chase Thompson.
Chase Thompson.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
And the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
And that I will faithfully.
And I will faithfully.
Impartially. And diligently discharge. The duties of the office of Common Council Member at Large.
The duties of the Common Council Member at Large.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mark McCall. Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Mark McCall.
I, Mark McCall.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
And the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
And that I will faithfully.
And I will faithfully.
Impartially. And diligently discharge. The duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
Of City Council Member, 1st District.
Of City Council Member, 1st District.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
Congratulations. These are in no particular order. I'm just going to tell you this is how it's working on hand and mouth. So if you have any grievances, Mason Hyde. Repeat after me. I, Mason Hyde.
I, Mason Hyde.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
And the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
And that I will faithfully.
And that I will faithfully.
Impartially. And diligently discharge. The duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
Of City Council. City County Council Member. 2nd District.
City Council.
2nd District.
District.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
Congratulations. For the record, I messed that up, Mason. It's not on you. Then go ahead and sign both of those. Brian Fitzwater. Repeat after me. I, Brian Fitzwater,
I, Brian Fitzwater,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently discharge
and diligently discharge
the duties of the office,
the duties of the office
City Council Member, 3rd District,
of City Council Member, 3rd District,
according to the law and the best of my ability.
according to the law and best of my ability.
Congratulations. Martin Smith? No? Okay. We will need, I'm going to give this to you and we will get him sworn in at a later time. John Garrett? Garrett, come on up, please.
Yes, sir.
Repeat after me, please raise your right hand. I, John Garrett,
I, John Garrett,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that
States
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of
the
Indiana,
Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently discharge
and diligently discharge
the duties of the office of City Council Member, 5th District,
the duties of City Council Member, 5th District,
according to the law and the best of my ability.
according to the law and the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ted Denton. Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. Ted Denton.
I, Ted Denton,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently discharge
and diligently discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Mayor of the City of Rochester,
of Mayor of the City of Rochester,
according to the law and the best of my ability.
according to the law and the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think. Okay, did we miss anybody, I guess? I think we got everybody. Okay.
What else?
All right, that will conclude the swearing-in ceremony. I want to thank all of you for participating here. I would always like to say, if you can say diligently discharge 3 times really fast, then you're in good shape here. So that'll conclude. We do have refreshments for the candidates and family members and friends and whatnot that's back in the jury room. So you're welcome to come back and enjoy those. Hey, thank you, folks.
The Constitution of the State of Indiana.
And I will faithfully,
And I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently discharge
and diligently discharge
the duties of the office,
the duties of the office,
city council member of the district,
City Council Member, 4th District,
according to the law and best of my ability.
according to the law and the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hello everyone and welcome to an RTCtv Sports Report. I'm Chris Messersmith and I will be supplying you with various updates on local sports here around Rochester right here on This Week on 4. We will also be interviewing local athletes from Rochester and Tippecanoe Valley School Corporations, highlighting some of their milestones. Later, if you stay tuned, you'll catch some of the interviews with Rochester wrestlers that competed in the John McKee Memorial Invitational on December 23rd this past week. So without further ado, let's take a look at Rochester sports. A lot of basketball this week for Rochester and Tippecanoe Valley, so that's going to be a lot of stuff we're going over today. The Lady Zebras basketball team hosted the Holiday Shootout Tournament on December 28th last week. Participating teams included 4 teams: Rochester, Elkhart Memorial, Taylor, and Hamilton Heights. First round of the tournament was Rochester versus Hamilton Heights. Rochester came into the contest with a 12-0 record against a 2-8 Hamilton Heights team. Pretty slow start for both teams in the first game of the Holiday Shootout, ending the first quarter with a 6-2 Rochester lead. Things picked up a little in the second half. Zebras began to pull away after Larkin and Holland hit back-to-back 3-pointers. The second half was similar, although the Zebras slowly continued to pull away from the Hamilton Heights Huskies. The Huskies were able to keep this one close with the number 1 ranked Rochester Zebras, but fell behind in the fourth quarter and lost by a score of 52-39. Huskies fell to a 2-9 overall record, while the 13-0 Zebras went on to play Elkhart Memorial that evening for the championship. The Elkhart Memorial Chargers came into the tournament with a 7-6 record, looking to take home the Holiday Shootout title. It was a very competitive and physical game from beginning to end. Larkin coming through with a big pair of threes for the Lady Zebras in the first quarter, followed by Holland with an additional 3 near the end of the quarter, created some momentum for the Zebras. They continued to pull away in the second quarter while Elkhart Memorial battled. The score at half was 28-20. The Lady Z's continued to pull away in the third, and Alexa Holland here left wide open here in the first few seconds of the third, and they continued to press and pull away throughout the second half to take the Holiday Tournament title, beating Hamilton Heights by a score of 52-39, then going on to beat the now 7-7 Elkhart Memorial Chargers by a score of 56-36. We want to congratulate the Lady Zebras as they continue their success throughout this season. The following evening, the Rochester Boys High School basketball team hosted a holiday tournament, and the 4 teams involved were the Rochester Zebras, Fairfield Falcons, Northwood Panthers, and the Tippecanoe Valley Vikings. In the first round of the tournament, the 1-5 Zebras hosted a very good 8-1 Northwood Panthers squad. Northwood came out strong in the first quarter, going on a 15-0 run before the Zebras scored their first points. The Zebras were unable to slow down the Northwood offense and ended the first quarter trailing 23-6. As the Zebras tried chipping away at the lead, Northwood continued to battle. Unfortunately, the Zebras were unable to come back and they were defeated in an 81-43 loss to Northwood. Northwood moved on in the tournament with a 9-1 record and would face Fairfield in the championship that evening. A very good Northwood team and very likely to succeed in the future. As far as Zebra sports events this week, Monday, January the 4th, the Rochester Boys High School basketball team will take on Lewis Cass at Lewis Cass. Tuesday, January 5th, the Lady Zebras will host North Judson. Wednesday, January 6th, the freshman boys basketball team will take on Triton here in Rochester at 5 p.m. No events on Thursday. Friday, January 8th, the Rochester boys basketball team will host Whitco. And Saturday, the 9th, the Lady Zebras will play at Whitco. So that's all I have for Zebra sports this week. So now let's take a look at Valley Viking sports. The Vikings boys basketball team also took part in the Rochester Holiday Tournament, entering the tournament with a 2-5 record. In their first game, they faced off against the Fairfield Falcons, who came into the contest with a 5-2 record. Both teams struggled to score in the first quarter, but things began to pick up in the second, specifically for the Falcons. They slowly pulled away as more shots began to fall, and they managed to get to the charity stripe. At the end of the third quarter, the Falcons led the Vikings 29-15. The Vikings continued to battle but were unable to make a comeback and moved to 2-6 on the season, while Fairfield improved to a 6-2 record and would move on to play in a loss to the Northwood Panthers that same evening by a score of 63-39. Meanwhile, the Vikings did end up playing the Rochester Zebras in a consolation game the same evening. The Zebras came into this contest with a 1-6 record against a 2-7 Viking team. Both Rochester and Tippecanoe Valley came out of the gate quick, hitting good shots and getting to the line. In the second quarter, Valley really controlled the pace of the game and pulled away. Neil Clampett hit some tough shots to help the Vikings out, including a corner three at the buzzer to put the Zebras down 41-22 at the half. The second half was not much better for the Zebras. Valley continued to knock down shots and keep the pressure on. Multiple Vikings scored in double figures in the game. Rochester was defeated by a score of 74-46. The Zebras moved to a 1-7 record as the Vikings improved to 3-7, although I do want to mention that this does not count as a conference game. Tippecanoe Valley and Rochester will face off in a regular season conference game on January 15th. Just this past Saturday, the Lady Vikings traveled to West Noble High School for their tournament over the break. Teams included in this tournament were Tippecanoe Valley, Lakeland, Concord, and West Noble. Valley's first game was against a 1-11 Lakeland team. As usual, the Lady Vikings came ready to play, holding the Lakeland Lakers scoreless almost until the second quarter. They managed to put up 25 points before the Lakers were able to knock down a pair of free throws. Needless to say, it was not the closest game, but well played on both ends of the court by the Vikings. The final score of the game was 17-74 as Valley improved to 12-1 overall, and Lakeland fell to 1-12. The Lady Vikings then went on to play a 9-4 West Noble team in the championship game. The West Noble Chargers came ready to play in this one as Lindsey Cox knocks down the early go-ahead three here in the first few seconds of the game. The Lady Vikings fought back, as you would expect, and began to outplay the Chargers on both ends. Valley led at the half by a score of 21-30. The second half did not go well for the Chargers as Valley began knocking their shots down. By the end of the third quarter, the Vikings led 29-49. The Chargers were able to bring themselves back within 9 in the fourth quarter, but trailed for the remainder of the game. The Lady Vikings were able to take home the tournament title and improve to 13-1. We want to congratulate the Lady Vikings on their success. As far as Viking sports this week, Tuesday, January the 5th, the girls basketball team will host Logansport. Thursday, January the 7th, the girls basketball team will host Northfield, so a couple home games there for the girls team. Friday, January 8th, the boys basketball team will actually play at Northfield, and January 9th, the boys basketball team will host Plymouth. That's all I've got for Viking sports. Next up, we will show you some interviews with RHS wrestlers in the John McKee Memorial Invitational that took place over the holiday break. So that's all I've got this week for RTCtv Sports Report. I'm Chris Messersmith. Thanks for watching.
Hello and welcome to RTCtv. I'm Abby Malco here at Rochester High School today for the John McKee Wrestling Invitational. We will be talking to some wrestlers today and get you some live footage of the events. And now I'm here with the senior, Thomas Rensberger. Thomas, how long have you wrestled?
For about 9 years.
And how'd you get your start in wrestling?
Well, actually, when I was in youth football, my football coach told me I should wrestle, so I did, and I've loved it, so,
And does wrestling help you in the sport of football?
Absolutely. Body control and, everything, it helps a lot.
And going into conditioning, tell us about a practice. You've been in practices for 4 years as a wrestler. How do those work?
It's rough. It's very rough. It's a grind. It's a lot of hard work. Just drilling hard and working and getting at it, so.
And what would you say overall is the hardest thing about being a wrestler?
Probably making weight. That's probably the hardest, so.
Certain times where you can't eat pizza on a Saturday night?
Yeah. It's rough.
And being a senior, you've had a lot of experiences as a wrestler. Tell us some of your toughest times and some of your best times.
My toughest time was last year wrestling Devin Childers from Valley in the semifinals at conference, and he stuck me, so I was pretty sad. And my best time probably last year when I almost beat Devin in overtime, first round of sectionals. So.
And in your weight class, especially in conference, do you find yourself wrestling the same guys very often?
Yeah, kinda. A lot of my kids last year graduated, so hopefully it's good news.
What are your goals for this season being a senior?
Qualify for state.
Well, we wish you good luck in that. And what are some lessons you've learned being a senior wrestler?
Well, your team counts on you a lot. You always need to be there for them. And they go through the same thing you go through, so can't be a baby, I guess, and be disciplined.
Right. Talk to us about Coach Guard. He's been your coach for 4 years now, how he's helped you through this process as a wrestler.
Well, he doesn't take our crap, and, he keeps us in there and teaches us new stuff, and he's always there for us, so I love the guy.
Now I'm here with Justin Riston, a freshman on the wrestling team. Justin, how long have you wrestled?
This is my 4th year wrestling, so.
And how did you get your start in wrestling?
Well, my friends were doing it, so I decided why not just try it, see if I like it, and I did, so I stuck with it.
That's awesome. What would you say is the biggest difference coming into high school and being a wrestler?
Well, there's more competition, practices are harder, basically that.
And speaking of practices, take us through a normal practice each day.
Well, we warm up, do our calisthenics, stretch, then end up either drilling wrestling techniques or live wrestling, which is pretty much matches during the practice.
And talk to us about Coach Guard and what he's helped you with just your first year in high school wrestling.
Well, he's helped me with my technique. I've gotten better. I've gotten more fit, stronger.
Do you have any goals for the season?
I want to make it to semi-state if I can, so.
That would be awesome. Well, we wish you good luck in your match today and a successful career.
Thanks.
Thank you. Only being wrestling for 2 years, what would you say has been your favorite part so far?
Wrestling other kids. Some people get really nervous about it and they're just very stressed out, but my coaches tell me, don't worry, you're just going to have to wrestle some other kid. So that's why I'm not going to be very nervous when I go out to wrestle.
Right, and that's very good. What would you say with being under Coach Guard, what has he helped you with the most?
Just doing my technique and getting stronger and basically getting to like wrestling too. Yeah.
Do you have any goals for the season that you've set?
I want to make it to at least regionals, and my lower goal, I'd rather be able to go to sectionals and win my very first match for sectionals.
Yes, that would be awesome. Well, we wish you good luck, and good luck in your match today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'm here with Drew Sailors, a freshman on the wrestling team. Drew, how long have you been wrestling?
About 10 years.
And how did you get your start in wrestling?
Well, my dad's the wrestling coach, so he just asked me if I wanted to do wrestling. I was like, sure, I'll try it.
And you fell in love with it when you were pretty young?
Yeah, I really liked it.
And how's the season been going for you so far?
Well, I'm only a freshman, so I've been wrestling some juniors, seniors, something like that. It's doing okay, I guess.
And even though you're just a freshman, what are some lessons you've learned just so far in your season?
That high school wrestling's a lot different than middle school wrestling. You have to work a lot harder and just do your best.
Do you have any specific goals that you've set for this season?
This season, my goal is to get to semi-state this year, and then lower goal is to make it out of to go to regionals.
And I've seen wrestlers practice. It looks pretty tough. What would you say is the toughest part about being a wrestler?
The toughest part is probably controlling your weight and just getting through every practice, even though they're really hard. Just keep coming back for more.
And so far in your wrestling career, what's been your favorite memory?
Probably either my first win or probably just practicing. My first practice, it was a lot different.
Yeah. And I myself have been a coach's daughter. How is it with your dad being your coach?
He says that he's not going to go as hard on me, but he definitely does. He says he's going to treat me like everybody else, but you can tell just by being in there that he goes a little bit harder on me.
You get a little tougher treatment because he knows what you have?
Yeah.
That also probably helps you too because you have somebody there that can push you at practice and at home as well.
Yeah, he really does.
Well, we wish you good luck. Hopefully you do well in your match today, and we look forward to watching you in the season.
Thanks.
Thanks, Drew.
Yep.
I look at the situation and why I ran for mayor as a turnaround situation. It's going into our major fundraiser.
Bringing the way, Tom McKee.